Welcome to another episode of Run the Day, the Daily Sports Show. I'm your host, Anthony, and under me, I got the man, Zachary Grench. Zach, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, and it's good to see you. I'm finally on Run the Play. It's been a dream of mine for a minute since we've been going to school together. So I'm excited to be here and want more to welcome the season. Then a good old talk about the National Football League, especially the NFC. So let's do it, man.
Hey, Zach, tell the people a little bit about your kind of sports broadcasting, what you got going on, and then also tell them about where they can find you at.
Yeah, of course, of course. So I'm a sports broadcaster up and running. I'm going to Cal State Fullerton for my master's, and I'm also going to be helping Laverne for the season as well. You're going to find me on at Game Time Gretch. That's my professional broadcasting account as well on my YouTube. And then my portfolio is zacharygretch.com. So you get to see all my stuff in my background. So, hey, I'm always here, always willing to learn and help people along the way. And hey, sports is a passion for people and in any prospects and platforms. So if you're into sports or just storytelling in general, just keep doing it because it matters in the world.
Hey, even if you don't support sports, support the journey, man.
Exactly.
There's a lot of great people that come out of sports, and I think Zach is definitely going to be one of them. I put his Instagram inside of our YouTube chat as well as inside of our Instagram chat. So if you're on either of those streams, make sure to check it out. Today, we're going to be predicting the NFC divisional winners, and I'm super excited, man. I was telling you this, I think yesterday or maybe a couple days ago, but like I low-key thought this season I wasn't going to cover football on this page. And like doing the streams last week kind of got me heated up again. And I'm ready to just talk some ball, man. Talk some ball. I feel like I cooked last season. And this season's gonna be no different. You know I cook. Come on, Zach. You know I cook. Tell him
Yeah,
what
he's repping the Texans right here, man. Good old CJ Stroud from Rancho Cucamonga. So you know he's gonna have to cook, man. Of
you know it. You know it. And hey, we got to be transparent on here. We're journalists, so we got to be
course.
honest.
Of course.
Zach is a Cowboys fan, so before we get to the NFC East, we just got to make sure that everybody in the chat knows that Zach is definitely going. I mean, maybe not definitely going to, but I definitely want to hear an argument for why the Cowboys could win the division. At the bare minimum, an argument would be nice. Let's start though, man. Where do you want to start?
Um I'm cool with whatever. I have so many facts on the division themselves, some fun facts about, starting from 2002. Maybe we can start a little bit with that and then predict it. So first,
Some
if
trivia.
people are not football fans or fanatics and we're just getting into it, I mean, a lot of people do love football, but since 2002, the NFC was made up to 16 teams for the four divisions, the East, North, South, the West. But before that, it had NFC Central, which was the NFC North at one time, and
Okay,
then NFC West was NFC Coastal,
that's
and
weird.
then yeah, so and then NFL Capital was the NFC East today. So back then, each team played each other the division twice, home and away. But going dated back, the first division winners, first in the NFC East, which was the NFC Capital or NFL Capital, it was the Cowboys in '67 and '69, and then
Oh,
for the
that's why you got
Central,
that stat on deck.
I had to,
Lucas, how
and
you doing?
then the Packers was for the NFC Central, and then the Vikings, right after that, and then for the first NFC Coastal division winners, it was the Rams, St.
Really?
Louis Rams. So in 2002, that's when everything changed because I can go throughout every single winner, and I'll go more to that when we talk about the NFC East. But in 2002, that's when we saw the modern day NFC division of, North, South, East, and West. And again, you know,
You
the
know why that
NFC,
happened?
why the merger? No, I don't. You want to feed me in some knowledge?
Well, the reason that we have the modern day, I mean, I guess it's not insane fun fact or nothing, but that's the year that the Texans get added. So you got to change shit up. You got to move the divisions around. So
No, no, 100%.
that's
No,
why.
yeah, no, and then also the Bucks were an added-on team as well later on, and yeah. So, and the funniest fact is the Bucks were the first NFC South winners when they renamed division, and then it was the
Really?
Niners. Yeah, the Bucks in '02 when they won
So
the
when
Super
they
Bowl.
got added, okay, so I have this question, right? Because
Yeah,
I'm not familiar with this completely. I know how it works in basketball, but
yeah.
when an expansion happens in football, how does that work?
Well, if the expansion happens, in my knowledge, I know that if they get expanded, they're having a limited amount of budget, and they're on the short term team policy, so they get added. They're like, okay, is this team going to be legit, and how are they going to do it that way? So hey, the Bucks, the first team they got added, when they got added, they won.
Okay.
So they won the Super Bowl too that year. So for
So
that, we'll give that. So then we'll start into the next division. But first, I wanted to say in '02. For the NFC East, it was the Eagles. Then the North was the Packers. Then it was Tampa Bay Buccaneers. For the NFC South, and the West was, I can't stand this team. But again, as a journalist, be nice. The San Francisco 49ers for the West.
okay.
So let's start. Let's start with the NFC South, since I talked about
Okay.
them going off first. I think it's a one slept on division. It's very tight knit race going down the highway. These past couple years, it was dominated a lot from Drew Brees back in the day, and
Oh,
then later on in the 2010s, we had Cam Newton on his rise, and then we can't forget good old Kyle Shanahan and them Falcons with Matt Ryan.
the ice,
Probably
baby.
the biggest choke game in 2016, but I
Hey,
feel bad for the Falcons.
Ricky, you don't got to stay for the whole stream, but just wait until we talk about. We'll talk about the Saints for sure, bro.
We will 100%. That's why I have to get into it. So with these past couple years, um, from 2021 to 2024, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have won the NFC South 4 times. Okay, before that, who's won it 4 times was the New Orleans Saints from 17 all the way to 2020.
Wow.
So usually with those divisions, it's 4 times in a row. Before that, it was the Falcons. I went to the Super Bowl in that sleeper.
Then
And then
Carolina.
Carolina dominated from 13 to 15. You're right on the money, Ant. So
No. And
I
then who was it
think,
before that? Do you know? Is it
yeah,
Atlanta before that?
Atlanta.
Okay.
When Matt Ryan, I believe he was '08 was his first year in
Sounds
the
right.
NFL.
And
Okay, so then
that's like Roddy White.
2012 is when he started getting his prime, I feel like. So that's when
Roddy
he won.
White and who's the running back? Michael Turner.
Yes.
Some dog.
Yeah. And then before that, they had the New Orleans Saints. And then the first year when Breeze came to the Saints in '09, then when they won that Super Bowl, boom. So what my prediction here for that division, it's going to be the Atlanta Falcons.
Okay. Talk a little bit why. What do you like about them?
The Atlanta Falcons are a sneaky sleeper team in the NFC South. They had rough, rocky parts in the NFL last year. Again with Kirk Cousins. If you watch the quarterback, series season 2, they talk about his progressions. He played really good the first 4 games in the season, and then he started getting banged up with that shoulder injury. And then Michael Penix enters, into this realm of NFL football. I think Michael Penix is going to bring this team into another notch of football. He started playing great. Unfortunately, he didn't get the win columns as he wanted to, but they were averaging at least 27, 28 points a game, and sometimes even going into these thriller games. Michael Penix is going to bring that offense of just straight accuracy. He's got to play in a play now moment. He's one of the older, younger quarterbacks in the league. And man, I think, with Bijan and with Drake London, they're gonna do some damage. And I think Darnell Mooney, did he leave or no?
I want to say he's still there.
And that brings another. Well, we get that right. And then Kyle Pitts, like Jack was saying yesterday, Kyle Pitts is that inconsistent type of dude, but Michael Penix loves Kyle Pitts, and they said that Kyle Pitts will play wide receiver this year too. He'll play a little bit of outside.
Hey Jay, how you doing on the chat? Jaden Brown, Russell, how you guys doing? How you doing?
Yeah, so I believe definitely that the Atlanta Falcons are gonna win the division. I believe that for a fact. And then obviously I can't rule out Tampa Bay. I'm not gonna say Tampa Bay is not that type of team.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna go down to, that last week when they play each other. Don't know when. I gotta look at that schedule when they play each other. But I know that Baker Mayfield's, what he's brought into the league and what he keeps doing, he's bringing the best of the best, and he has a lot of weapons. So again, it's a toss up between those two teams. And then the Saints, hey, they're in this year. We're gonna talk about the Saints. You have to figure out what you're gonna do with that quarterback.
No, I don't, bro. the Saints to me are the like we don't got to talk about them if we're being honest. Like we know what the Saints are, right? The Saints are going to win 5 games next season. They're gonna fizzle out. Tyler Show. I mean, like no one before the draft thought Tyler Show was going to be a starting NFL quarterback next season.
Yeah.
And there's people talking about Rattler too, but I need to be proven wrong. And Rattler did not show me anything last year to be on top of him. Olave, I hope he's healthy, but can't bet on that. Like there's just not. This team dug themselves a grave, and now they're laying in it. And I'm not like gonna try to dig them out or show them love or nothing. The Saints are gonna Saints. I agree with you about Atlanta. I'm definitely pro Atlanta, but this division to me is Carolina's. Carolina is that spark that is about to get lit this season, you know. And like you said, there's a trend, right, where you go the Bucks win the division, then the Falcons, then the Saints, then the Panthers. Did I hit that in order? Something like that.
Yeah.
We're back to the Panthers, man. And I think I don't think the Bucks are some amazing team that's going to win this division 5 times in a row. I like the Bucks and I love Baker Mayfield, but I do think that team is a product of this weak division. And I think it's time for Bryce Young to be unleashed, and I think they come for the throne this season. Listen, I think as far as this division goes, there are 3 guys that I think legitimately could come out, and this might be a hot take, and have an MVP case. Like whoever comes out of this division, if they clear this division and it's not like a 10-7 win, if they're 12-5, 11-6, we could have conversations about Bryce Young, Michael Penix, or Baker Mayfield for MVP because they're going to have the numbers to back that up. Yeah.
No, 100%. And you know what? I want to give a fun fact out there. You know, Bryce Young, I actually knew him growing up. I went to middle school with Bryce Young all the way down the street from my house literally right now. Knew Bryce Young in 8th grade. I knew the type of guy he was. And I knew that he was going to be instant success. People are going to say, you know, in the NFL, it's hard to keep a job. Yes, he struggled at one point, but he started putting on these games. And you have a great argument there. I'm not going to say that Carolina is not a playoff team. I think they're a wild card team for sure this year. They're going to bring it. Bryce Young is going to show you why he's meant to be in the NFL. And again, that's honestly a 3-team race like it's always been in that division. And it's a toss-up. But yeah, no, I 100% agree with what you're saying. And hey, Adam Thielen, this is going to be might be his last year in the NFL. He's got to go out with a bang, man.
Yeah. Listen, I think this could be the most, as far as competitiveness goes, like I always thought this division was fake competitive, right? Where it was like the Bucks were going to win. I didn't really believe in Kirk Cousins. The Panthers and the Saints weren't really like that the last couple of years until the end of last season when the Panthers became the Grim Reaper for every NFL team. I think this division, deadass, could have 3 teams with 9 wins going into week 17. You know, like, and that's going to make this very fun because these are some like these quarterbacks are all fun quarterbacks. You know, Michael Penix being a lefty that can sling it with those receivers like Drake London. Bryce Young's just a guy you root for, man. You know, it's hard to root against him unless you're an Andy Dalton fan. And then Baker Mayfield, I mean, it's so crazy Baker Mayfield's development from his rookie year where he takes the Browns to the playoffs and then they like kind of fizzle out and then he's a backup for the Rams and he has that one amazing drive against I'm blanking on who, but it was a do or die game for Baker Mayfield and he did, you know, and then the Bucks pick him up and now we're legitimately talking about like Baker Mayfield. Like I was in the car with my uncles talking about this because we went to Vegas and I wanted to put money on the Panthers and they were like, the Bucks still have Baker Mayfield. Like, it's so crazy to hear stuff like that right now. If you look at how he has been looked at the last like 5-6 years ago, you know?
Yeah, that was Baker Mayfield against the Raiders, if I'm not wrong.
That might be right. That sounds right.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you one thing. Growing up playing quarterback at position, Baker Mayfield was the guy that I always wanted to root for and the guy that I liked, you know? A lot of people compared me with a haircut when my sophomore year in high school was like Mitch Trubisky, so I kind of took offense to that. But Baker Mayfield was a moxie guy. I just think Baker Mayfield is a guy that I always wanted to see. Okay, hey, he's not the fastest type of guy, but he is a confident guy, and he's going to sling the ball out of it. He's a gunslinger. So to end off the chapter, I think for NFC South, the Panthers do have a run case. You kind of pulled me towards that direction. I think they're going to do some good stuff, but I'm not ruling out that 3-team Week 17 against the Falcons, the Bucks, and the Panthers. I'm sorry, Saints fans.
Yeah.
You can Nola on home with your 5 wins. Hopefully you'll get somebody in the draft. you should bet your all chips, I think, on Arch Manning, if I'm not wrong. That's something that you guys should do. You need a quarterback. You have a competent defense, but you need a quarterback. You're not going to win in this league anymore if you do not have a quarterback. I don't care if it's not a bridge person or if it's anything. You need a quarterback, and right now, you guys don't have one until you prove me wrong.
If I'm the Saints, I don't know if I go quarter. I mean, if Arch Manning's there, you go Arch Manning, But I think my philosophy, and this is kind of the example Bryce Young was last season. If a team doesn't have shit around the quarterback is going to look bad, and the quarterback may get hurt. So I would rather build a solid team. You sign like Sam Darnold or someone like that until you're ready to compete. That's when you draft the quarterback. That's how I feel on it. But I think modern NFL is you draft a quarterback and like you take the superstar, But I just think football, it's so important to have that great team around your quarterback.
100%.
It's hard to be a great quarterback without great talent around you.
And that goes into NFC North, man. We're going to talk about all that quarterback play and what you want to talk about. This division is the most competitive division in the NFC, and that is the hottest take you want to hear. No, it's the rightest take in stats.
Okay.
I'm sorry. That is what it's going to be. That's what it's going to be for the next 3 years if these guys develop great.
Okay,
so, and in the stats wise, these past times since the merger of 2002, Green Bay has dominated this division for a long time. They started winning this division from 02 to 04. Chicago got it from 05, 06. Then Green Bay came back 07. Then we had Minnesota on 08, 09. Then Chicago, again, sleeping, coming back with Jay Cutler. And then 11, 12, 13, 14, Green Bay. Then 14 from after Green Bay, then went to Minnesota in 15. Green Bay again 16. Minnesota 17. 18, Chicago coming out of the blue once again. And then here we go, 19, 20, 21, Green Bay. 22, Minnesota. And then 23, 24, the Lions come back roaring pride. So my guess, when someone's doing very consistent, especially in the NFC North, they're the type of thing that it's going to go a while to dethrone these guys. But this is what I believe. I do think the Detroit Lions have the hottest take to win the division, but they have a lot on chip on their shoulder. They should have been a Super Bowl caliber team last year. They were, and they should have been at least the NFC Championship.
Yes.
So it comes to the point where, all right, Jared Goff, you're showing who you are. All right, Dan Campbell, you're showing us as a coach who you are. You have all these weapons in your defense. But what are you going to do when your defense is hurt again? What are you going to do when it's all back on your offense? This is where I come with Chicago.
Okay.
Why? Because Ben Johnson was that dude for them. He was the mastermind in control, and it's going to be very different to see that offensive coordinator for the Lions without a Ben Johnson team. I think Caleb Williams is going to have a lot to prove already year 2, but he's going to have a coach that's going to say, okay, if he's this guru, we're going to really see what he can do. So I believe Chicago can really buster up the Lions' plans, and they can really do it. I think they have a great team with Cole Kmet. They have, obviously Rome Odunze is going to have hopefully a better year 2, better than lack of production. And then now you got DJ Moore still. I mean, and then figuring out, that running back situation. It was really terrible last year. They didn't really have their guy that they wanted. And
that's why I wanted them to get Genty, man.
Yeah, no, they honestly needed it. Right now, they have Dion Hankins, or as I say, Hankins, yeah. I don't even know. I've never heard of the guy. I think he might be a rookie, if I'm not wrong.
Wait, I don't see no. I see Swift, Rojo, who fell off the map last season, Kyle Monagai, who I don't know who that is, and a name I haven't heard in so long, Travis Homer on their depth chart.
Yeah, they have Travis Homer on here too. That's fun. Oh, there you go. Yeah, I have DeAndre Swift. So obviously Swift's going to come back, but Swift didn't do as much as I thought he was going to do last year. Mm-hmm. Very lackluster season. So I think we're going to see. We're going to see what they bring. And then they got to fill in that Keenan Allen spot. And they, but at the end of the day, Chicago has what it takes to do what they need to do. But don't rule out the Lions. That's what I believe. And I don't care if people don't agree with me. Again, the Bears in '85, I had that stat. They were on a run. They were on a run. It was from '84 to '88. It was the Chicago Bears. That's when they had sweetness. They had a great, defense. That's what Ben Johnson is going to bring. I believe it wholeheartedly. I think the Minnesota Vikings are also in a little bit of a question mark right now. Again, that's going to see how much can JJ McCarthy see on that mental reps is going to provide what he does. And again, this league, like you say, all of the quarterback play, it's like Minnesota. I feel like even when Darnold took 3 steps back the last 3 or 4 weeks of the season, and they want to trend forward. They were a team that had high expectations. They were rolling. Sam Darnold, literally, if he would have been successful throughout the postseason, MVP case right there for
Facts.
you. Yeah,
Facts.
MVP case right there for you. So I think, I honestly think Chicago is that team right now. Obviously, it's the Lions. Obviously, we're gonna say everyone's gonna say, yeah, it's the Lions, it's the Lions, it's the Lions. But Chicago,
Go with your gut.
Ben Johnson's the prime success in that formula. I love Dan Campbell with my whole heart. I think he's one of the best coaches in the NFL. But Ben Johnson has been one of the best offensive minds these past 2 to 3 years in football. So
Okay.
I think he's gonna do it.
Well, I'm gonna give you guys my pick, but before we do that, let's give a huge shout out to the sponsor of this stream, Boom Fantasy. Scan that code in the. Oh my gosh, I zoomed in my camera. I did not mean to do that. How do I get out of here? How do I get out of here? Freebie Boom Fantasy. There we go. Hey, scan that code in the corner right there. You get a risk-free bet up to $100 on Boom Fantasy. That's code RTP. It's the best way to support the channel. So again, please scan that. If you got the funds, if you're a little bit of a bettor, please scan that code in the corner right there. It's the number one way to support us and keep us going, keep us rolling. That's Boom Fantasy. You get a risk-free bet up to $100. What's up, Wilbur Nola? My grandma called and wants her curtains back. I feel like that's kind of freaky. I'm not going to lie, Wilbur, but thank you. We just talked shit about the Saints, so you just missed out on that. Let me turn this off so I'm not blocking your face. All right, so as far as this division goes, right, and we're talking about the NFC North. Okay. I just don't know the North, South, East, West. I'm bad at that. But
no, you're chilling.
I do want to give the Bears flowers, especially the offense is cool. But the defense was one of the best defenses in the NFL last year. And the offense just kept them on the field, so the numbers might not reflect that. But that defense was so elite last season. With the pass rush, they have Montez Sweat, Grady Jarrett, and then they also have guys like Jalen Johnson, Kevin Byard, Kyler Gordon. Kevin Byard had a resurgence last year. Resurgence. It's like his third resurgence of his career.
Yep.
He just keeps coming back. But I think this is a division where you could have 4 teams that make the playoffs. Legitimately, you can.
Always.
It is about Rattler versus Show. I think we both lean Show. Zach, would you agree?
Tyler? Yeah, look at. I love Spencer Rattler. I think he's going to play this season. I'm not going to say he's not. That's going to be a quarterback carousel. You talked about if you remember the Browns when they were shifting when RG3 got hurt and they had, Baker Mayfield. But honestly, it's going to be that quarterback carousel like you've seen with other people in the past. Oh, one person's doing crap. But you know what? This is the biggest thing about the Saints. And then I want to throw it off because, no offense to Saints fans. I appreciate you guys. I think you're cool, loyal fans. But again, you're not relevant right now. And I'm sorry to say that. I think the quarterback
Saints fans are relevant. Let's
the Saints fans are relevant, not the Saints team. We can separate the two.
Yes,
so
yes.
The team right now is in turmoil off of you. Hey, when you have 2 quarterbacks, what's the saying? You have no quarterbacks. So there's a stamp on that. So yeah.
I like that. Okay. Yeah. Let me get back to this, right? I think the Bears defense will carry them. I think there could be 4 teams in this division that make the playoffs. I'm not too high on the Packers. I don't really believe in them too much. I don't like that receiver room, and I think Matthew Golden, respectfully, was a really bad pick for them. Like, I just don't understand why you draft another wide receiver too when you have 8 of them. But Jordan Love will get it done. Like, Jordan Love, and that Packers offense is great. They figured it out. They had games last season with Malik Willis where they looked really good. So I think the Packers could still be a playoff team, a wild card team. The Vikings, I don't believe in JJ McCarthy, but Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison are going to make you look nice regardless. So it's not really a problem. That passing game is going to be fine because of the receivers, not the quarterback. I'm going with the Lions, though. It's just like that team was too fucking good last season to be like overtaken. I think the team that was the most competitive last year with them was the Vikings, and the Vikings got worse, in my opinion, losing Darnold. And I don't think JJ is going to be those first 13, 14 weeks of Sam Darnold. So that's where I'm leaning, just because I believe in this offense, this defense. And like you said, they're going to have a chip on their shoulder. They should have been one of them teams last season.
No, and they still are. We're never going to say that they're not. The Lions are a team to beat in the NFC, but they have to prove, just like my good old team, how good are you in the postseason? How are you going to be? Are you going to be those 1 and 2 win teams? I mean, again, once you don't get into that big game, you're going to start becoming irrelevant. And we don't want that for the Lions. We don't. They're a great fan base. And at the end of the day, we'll see. We'll see what they do. But yeah, I'm saving my division last. Okay. I got a lot to talk about for it.
Okay.
NFC West. This is the one that's everyone's been talking about right now, brewing.
This one's tough, man.
Yeah.
This one's tough. And I'll tell you why. I think as far as the teams go, I think the Rams are the best team in this division. But I just don't love how much I'm hearing about the Rams wanting Arch Manning. That just tells me that if something goes wrong this season, they're going to shut everyone down. And having guys like Stafford and Devontae Adams who are older tells me that that's a real possibility. I'm off the Rams for that reason. I think I'm off the 49ers, and I'm going to go with the Cardinals. I'm going to get a little spicy here.
Ooh, all right. Now, let me hear it.
This is my take, right? And I want you to hold me to this, Zach, during the season. Okay. If the Cardinals, you guys see Washington improving even more this season, we're going
to get on to that. Hang on here.
Yeah, don't jump on here.
Jesus best for last, please.
Oh, Jesus Ruiz, not Jesus Rules.
Oh, that's my best friend. He's up here. He
okay. Jesus. My bad.
Jesus. No, you're good. You're good. It's okay. It's okay. Good old Raiders fan. Anyways, go ahead.
Okay, listen. Hold me to this, Zach. The Cardinals are the Clippers of the NFL. If the Cardinals disappoint me this season, I'm never betting on the Cardinals again. You'll never catch me watching a Cardinals game again because I just want them to be good. I want to root for Kyler Murray. I want to root for these guys. I want to root for Marvin Harrison, and they just make it so hard because they disappoint every season, and they just don't put on the plays that they should be putting on. I don't think the defense is great, but they're due, man. They're so due, and that matters in sports. That like if a team has a good roster and they're just not competing, they're gonna compete eventually. And if they don't, hold me to it. I'm never talking about this.
No, I like them. I like that they're an undercard. They're gonna be something. This is the year, though. Kyler Murray, if you want to stay in your job and people root off you like, oh, you're a Call of Duty bound game streamer type body, like not even trying to do this, lay off the Pringles, lay off the Lays. Look it, dude. He's a hard worker. He came from Oklahoma.
What's up, Kyler?
That's quarterback you. That is quarterback you. That is quarterback you. Mark my words when I said that. Besides Joe Burrow's LSU, that is quarterback you.
Yeah, okay.
Jalen Hurts, Baker, Kyler. It's quarterback you with Lincoln Riley at his prime. I want to talk a little bit more about these Cardinals. Look at you have Zay Jones now. That's going to be a great deep threat for you. And honestly, we'll see what Marvin Harrison has to bring. He said he got leaner. He said he got bigger. He said he's going to bring this. Well, at the end of the day, you want to be the true wide receiver 1 in this year 2. Show it. Because you went disappearing half towards the season.
Yes.
That's also for Kyler Murray not making great decisions. But again, that's his first year back, really showing what he had to do off that ACL and what he wanted to do off of it, Kyler Murray is that type of dude that I feel like when he's playing at his best, he's one of the hardest quarterbacks to defend. And we'll see. And obviously you still have James Conner. You still have a decent, and honestly, what makes or breaks this team is their O-line play. If that O-line is absolute garbage, then you're going to see Kyler Murray running for his life. And that's what's been hurting the Cardinals because they have so many weapons where they're going to be so good. But you know what? I'm going the Rams. I'm going the Rams.
I got 2 things really quick before we talk about the Rams.
Yeah.
First of all, on the Cardinals, Marvin Harrison's looked great in training camp, but training camp's like Vegas. What happens in training camp stays in training camp. I don't believe nothing I see from any of these camp videos, any of these camp reports. And then second thing, say in 78, just because I feel like we're not going to talk about this team unless we answer this question, said Seahawks will be a sleeper pick. Darnold needs to have the 24 regular season in order for them to have that success in 25. I disagree just because that Seahawks O-line is absolutely terrible. I don't think the Seahawks are in any direction to compete. That's it.
No, and you know what? Look, the Seahawks. You ever hear the term of the 8 ball when you shake it like Toy Story? When you shake it, it's the fate of other people's in their hands. It's been the Seahawks like that since Russell Wilson left that team. The
Yeah.
fate is always in the division's hands and not in their hands. Geno Smith plays great, then the defense either lets him down, and then when he's not playing great, the defense comes out of nowhere and plays great. At the end of the day, the Seahawks have all the talent in the world, but again, it's always that turmoil at the very end. And honestly, it's the curse from, hey, Marshawn Lynch, you never got that 1 yard line on the goal line and winning the touchdown, then maybe the Seahawks would have seen a different light of day and Russell Wilson would have been retiring there. So I think that just comes back to that. I think Sam Darnold is an amazing quarterback. I root for him because I'm a big USC fan. I think he can give the opportunity, but again, football is a team sport. You saw that his best case, Kevin O'Connell made the worst decision not re-signing Darnold because Sam Darnold, that was his perfect position and perfect place in Minnesota. I think the Seahawks have great opportunity with him. But again, a lot of you have been seeing is what Jalen Monroe can do. That's all they're talking
That's what
about.
Instagram's saying.
They're not giving the flowers to Darnold of who he is. They're talking about, all right, I'm already looking at Milroe. What is Milroe going to give me? So I think it's a little disrespectful. But at the end of the day, Milroe is an athlete. So the Seahawks always love their running quarterbacks. That's always what they've been. They always like the people that are dual threat. And you're going to see Milroe probably starting week 7, week 8. He's coming in, and that's just how it is in the business. Yeah.
I think differently just because what we were talking about with the Saints, right?
Yes.
I think once the Seahawks put together a proper team, that they slide Milroe in there so he doesn't take any blame. But right
Okay.
now it's going to be Darnold's team. But kind of like you said, the Seahawks are always, when it gets clutch, what are you going to do? Are you going to be successful, And Sam Darnold's one of the last quarterbacks in the league that I'd want in any clutch situation, if I'm being honest, man. Like, he's good. He'll get you there first 3 quarters. But if you're not up 14-21, then Sam Darnold's going to fade away. And we saw that at the end of last season a couple times,
If they bring the blitz, because let's say it's not the blitz package, right? Let's say it's zone man. Let's say it's just regular type of defense, and they're not giving you that much pressure, maybe 3 in the box. Then Sam Darnold's your dude. Sam Darnold was that clutch guy in college. Let's separate it from there. In college, against Stanford, against all those, against Penn, all those type of teams, that's Sam Darnold. That's the guy we're talking about. But when it moved into the NFL, besides this season, I think besides last season, when you give pressure, and the same thing with Jared Goff, those quarterbacks with pocket, you want to beat a pocket quarterback? I know because I was one. You bring the blitz. You can't beat the blitz when you're a pocket quarterback.
Well,
Sorry.
let's say this then, right? The Seahawks did nothing to improve that terrible O-line last season.
Yes.
They don't even need bro. You could send 3 and there's going to be pressure on Darnold. This team it's nasty, and I like them getting Cooper Kupp, JSN. They got MVS too. Bobo looked good at the end of last season. Their running back room looks good. The O-line is so essential in football, and it's such a hard thing to gauge as a fan. But there was literally a stat last season where the Seahawks had 2 of the worst starters in the NFL, and both of them are on both sides of their offensive line. That's just unacceptable, man.
No, it's not. And that's not winning football. That's not winning football games for you. I'm sorry. So, and that goes into it's the Rams and the Niners division to lose.
Yes.
And we'll die on that hill. I want the Rams because I'm not a Niners fan. But at the end of the day, as a journalist, like you say, it's between those two. I do think Matthew Stafford and that team has a little bit of leg up of them because Brandon Ayuk's coming from that injury.
Yeah.
And Ricky Parcell he was showing some flashes, but now he's got to bring that consistency as the pure, wide receiver 1 for the Niners right now. And he's got to show what he's going to bring, and I think I want to talk about the Niners first before I get in the Rams because I have a lot to say about the Rams. So I want to spend at least, if we have, 5 minutes on these Rams. Or no, 3 minutes on these Niners. I'll say this. So Christian McCaffrey, you missed a lot out of him. And that hurt Kyle Shanahan. that hurt Kyle Shanahan's offense because McCaffrey was the guy that you brought all this pressure on when he ran that ball. It gave Brock Purdy the world off that playbook. Once you took him off and you had spurts of these backup running backs coming in and they're doing their okay job, you still lost a big element. You lost a big element in that, and now you don't have Debo, you don't have all these things, but you have Brandon Ayuk. Now you have you have Ricky Parcell and Jacob Cowing from, I think he's from Arizona, if I'm not mistaken. Jacob Cowing's from Arizona.
He may be.
Or no, actually.
Let's
Arizona. Yeah. UTEP in Arizona. So yeah. So what I think is this. Ricky Parcell is going to great year this year. But the Niners fall short of the division. They fall short of the division only because, I mean, look, you got George Kittle, you got all these people, but they were flawed last year. Tell me how the defense is going to bring, even when you hired back Robert Saleh. You know, show me that if you're still that dominant defense that you always are when you're fully healthy, then I'm scared. But right now, the Rams right now, they're looking good. They added Devontae Adams, and when Devontae Adams has a competent quarterback play, he is dangerous. And Puka Nacua, when he doesn't have all the pressure on him, he's going to succeed. And you got Kyron Williams. So I want to hear your thoughts on the Niners. And
I'm stumped on the Niners because I agree with you. I don't think Ricky Pearsall is ready to be a wide receiver 1. I think he'll be a good wide receiver 2. Jesus to talk your mess, Zach. I think Pearsall is a good wide receiver 2. I think he can be a good wide receiver 2 in the NFL. But when Ayuk gets back, I need Ayuk to be back for Ricky Pearsall to look good. You know, I don't think he could go against number 1 DBs in the NFL. Now, as far as their defense goes, their front 7 is kind of elite. I love the adding of Michael Williams. And as far as like Bosa goes, Fred Warner, Nick Martin, those are some dogs. Malik Mustafa looked great at last season.
yeah,
but those DBs are kind of ugly, man. Like if Eli Apple's in your quarterback room, then we got to have some conversations. You know, so that secondary is really where I get scared. But if the offense could put up points and that pressure could get to some of these guys, I especially think with this division, correct me if I'm wrong, but do the Rams have a great offensive line?
they're decent. Last year was a lot of pressure on Stafford. Let me see their line right now. I have it right here. So we got Humphreys, Havenstein. Who else is their center? Yeah. So I mean, their tackles are okay. I don't know about their guards.
Dotson's ass.
Yeah. So I think it's wishy-washy. But
You
know what? You know what? That's Matthew Stafford's life. There's only been 1 year in 2022 when he had, I had Whitworth, I had these guys. Matthew Stafford's been bitch-botched all the time in his career, and he's proven why he's clutch, why he's what he's done. I think the Rams still have this opportunity. Now, back off your Niners thing. I mean, I didn't like Lenore towards the end of the season either. I think he took steps back too. He started getting burned. I mean, you look at yourself with these defensive backs. The Niners are going to be going 30-point games. They're going to have to match these people with their offense, just like how the Bengals were doing last year.
Yeah.
That's exactly how I feel. Not saying that it's going to be a rocky start like that with the Niners, but I'm saying that's what it's going to be like. Their defense is taking a step back. And even though they got Robert Saleh, they're taking a step back because you're going to see how exposed that secondary is.
Hang on now, though. I do think the 49ers defense matches up very well with this division. And having
100%.
With those terrible O-lines, like it could get ugly. We could see some 5-6 sack games from this defense just because of who they're going against, you know? But I think, again, I'm going to say this like I said earlier. I think the Rams are the better team, and the Rams are the best team in this division. But I don't see it this year. I don't think they match up well with their division. I'm still going to go with the Cardinals just because I think San Francisco's kind of ugly too. I don't think the San Francisco offense is great. I love Brock Purdy, but I still think he got overpaid. McCaffrey,
Yeah.
I think McCaffrey bounces back this year, but I don't love him either anymore. Like, he's cool. I don't think we see a top 3 McCaffrey season. I think that ship has sailed. And then Ayuk being hurt, Jawan Jennings has contract stuff. Like, there's a lot of drama going on with this team.
No, bad drama in general, and you put it on the head. This is what I think, and off my stats, the West. Look at the Rams won last year, barely. Okay, the Niners won the past 2 years off of that, 23 and 22. Then the Rams, then the Seahawks, the Niners. It's inconsistency at best when it's the NFC West. I slammed my paper for a reason because they are an inconsistent division. It doesn't matter. One year one's going to be one rise, another year rise. But the Rams, they got Blake Corum now. They got Kyron Williams. They got Devontae Adams, Puka Nacua. They got Tyler Higbee when he's healthy. You got your weapons back. You got it. And now you got arguably one of the best wide receivers in our generation.
Yeah.
It's scary hours if Matthew Stafford stays healthy. That defense, it's going to be cool. That's going to be one division that's going to be a nail biter, and it's going to be really, really fun to watch. But
You could
yeah,
argue two receivers of that could be the best of this generation. Puka's on his way, man. And then they draft a tight end next year too. Higbee, I feel like hasn't been able to stay healthy the last couple of years. So you put Terry Ferguson there, who I think could start in the NFL off rip. Colby Parkinson was a guy that I liked last season.
He was great too. Like they have depth. They have depth at every direction, man. And I think that's big.
Except
not just
their
for
secondary.
what they want.
Sorry, bro. Their secondary is a joke.
No, it is, and that's been their issue since that Super Bowl run, like that 1 year. It's been they have flashing moments, but again, it's the inconsistency I really see from the Rams and the Niners off of just mostly for the Rams. What that secondary is going to bring, because again, I could be completely wrong with this take and saying, hey, the Niners play really great. So at the end of the day, I'm ready when you are about the NFC East. When you want to.
Let's go. Let me go first because I know this is your division.
Let me hear it.
Division. This is your home field. So I'll take the kickoff and then I'll put it back over to you.
Let's hear it.
My pick for the NFC East, I'm going to get a little spicy. I'm going to get a little warm. We're not going to go with the Giants. I don't believe in Mr. Unlimited. I'm not going to go with the Cowboys, even though I love Dak because he's in my fantasy team. I hated him before he was on my fantasy team, if I'm being transparent, if I'm being honest. But I'm going to go with Washington, man. I think we are going to get a year. I think they're going to spark. I think they're the next big thing in the NFL. I think they could have a Lions type of jump next season. I think they've put it together defensively. I think when you have a quarterback like Jaden Daniels, it's hard to not have a good offense. I think Brian Robinson's going to have a great year behind one of the highest scoring offenses in the NFL. And then you still got Scary Terry, man, and the O-line's going to protect him. Like, this team is built very good. And as far as the Eagles go, yeah, the Eagles are the better roster. Don't get me wrong. The Eagles roster is stacked. But I just think it's hard to go back-to-back. It's hard to keep rolling, man, after a short offseason, And the Commanders have that. They have the chip on their shoulder. They got a lot more to prove than Philadelphia. Do I think if they played in the playoffs, I would take Philadelphia? Absolutely. Philly's the better team. But as far as a regular season where you got to win 16 games, I'm going to take Washington.
You know what, we're not off the same track record because you know what? You're going to be very surprised what I'm about to say.
Giants.
Hell no. Never again. I'll never take the Giants until you show me that you're that team that dethroned Tom Brady. Okay. The NFC East is also more inconsistent than the West. So these past, we'll just go 15. Okay, I'm not going to go that long on 02. But from 15, it was Washington. And then 16, Dallas, 17, Philadelphia, 18. There has never been a consistent winner in the NFC East for a division ever in a long time. It's been 19 years without a back-to-back winner in the NFC East.
That's insane.
So that is the longest drought. But can Philly be that? Can they break that curse?
They can.
I'll give them a 70% chance.
Okay.
But I think Washington's winning this division.
Okay.
And that's coming from a diehard Cowboys fan. Why? Because it's always been like that. Every 3 years, it goes either Dallas, Philly. Washington takes that third year. So it's been Dallas, Philly, now the third team, Washington. It's Washington's turn to win this division. But this is going to be the true 3 team that goes to the playoffs. These 3 teams. Why?
Oh, don't throw your Cowboys in this, man.
Why? Hang on.
Don't throw your Cowboys. I don't like that.
I'm saying they're a wild card.
Like that was a fact.
They're the wild card.
Like that was a fact. I don't like that you just slid that in there.
Hang on. It's a wild card. It's the wild card. The Eagles go the second seed, and the wild card will be Dallas. Why?
Stop it.
Why? Hang on. Hang on.
Go ahead.
So we're gonna say, look, the Commanders, Jaden Daniels, he's my MVP next season.
Me too.
He is my MVP next season. Don't get it twisted. Don't understand it. What he did against the Lions, what he dismantled these people. He dismantled. He literally went. This team was 4-12 the year before Jaden Daniels got there. He came in and he kicked everyone's butt. And you know what he did? He got to the NFC Championship game. And that's been forever since the Redskins went there. And hey, I said the Commanders, Redskins, whatever. You obviously know who I'm talking about, because when you see number 5 on the field, he is that electric, and that's coming from somebody that is a diehard Cowboys fan, and it's hard to say. I hate the Eagles more than I hate the Commanders, but the Commanders are great. Yeah, man. Off of them, look, they're adding Deebo Samuel in there. They have Noah Brown returning. They obviously have Terry McLaurin, but they need to pay that man. Respectively, need to pay that man. They have everybody returning, and Dan Quinn loved what he saw out of that team. They're gonna bring it, and they're gonna upset the Eagles like they clearly almost did.
I want to play with you, man, and I want Chad to play along.
Yeah,
and I want Chad to play along. Okay, because
yeah,
I don't care about this division no more. We agreed about the division. We don't got to sit here and argue about the division.
Okay, fine.
Seven teams make the playoffs. Okay.
Okay.
Obviously, we don't have the Cowboys winning the division, right? So we got Commanders in the playoffs, correct?
Yes.
We got Lions in the playoffs, correct? We agreed about those. Okay.
And I got Rams in the playoffs too.
Okay, so Rams win the division.
Rams, Commanders, Lions, Eagles. That's 4 teams right now. Okay. And then obviously the NFC South, it either goes Tampa Bay or the Falcons. Whoever, doesn't matter. That 5th spot's already taken. That's their 5th spot. Okay. All
right. We have 2 spots left, and one of them has to be the Cowboys, okay? Let's play, chat. Let's play. 49ers. 49ers or Cowboys next season?
They're going?
Yeah.
The Niners are you saying the playoffs? The Niners are going to the playoffs. I think they go.
Okay,
so the Cowboys are that 7th seed. The Cowboys are that last seed.
No. Okay, because listen, right? We still have the Bears. You're taking Cowboys or Bears because you were pretty high on the Bears a second ago.
Okay, let's hear it. I think the Bears go and the Cowboys go then. Why? Why? Listen, why? Listen, why? And I'll tell you why.
Jack, get this man.
I don't care what anybody says. I don't care. And that's not being delusional. This is just telling you what I've seen. Look at every single year they come from a bounce back year. Schottenheimer's going to show you what he was trying to do in Seattle. They didn't give him enough reins. I think with Dak Prescott having George Pickens, CeeDee Lamb, Jake Ferguson, when he's having all these people and Luke Schoonmaker, and he still has Jonathan Mingo a little bit in there too. I'm sliding the Mingo in there because I feel like he has some potential. Okay, you can get what you want. It comes down to these running backs. How well is Javonte Williams, Miles Sanders, and Jaden Blue going to play? That's the bread and butter of the Cowboys. When they have a great running game, they are a playoff. Hang on, they are a playoff team. If they're not having a running game, then it starts rocking the ship. Okay.
We don't have a running game, Zach.
Yeah, that's what everyone's saying. We don't know yet. We don't know. You don't know. Like you said, training camp's Vegas. You don't know until it goes, right? Until that first week, 2 weeks. Then you could say it. But I think the Cowboys make it. They tread on by going, they win, I say 10 or 11 games this season.
Okay, now I'm going to ask you this, right? Because listen, we're going to play the game.
Let's do it. Let me hear it. I'm all for it.
The 49ers, right?
Yes.
You think the Cowboys are better than the 49ers, which I think is fair, correct?
As of right now, healthy-wise, they are in the same boat with their secondary. They're both crap.
Okay. But who's
their
better?
Secondary is both crap.
Who's better?
But offensively, the Cowboys are better on paper.
Okay. I'm asking you who's the better team, though?
Everyone's going to say when I say this, oh, you're wrong. The Niners have smacked the Cowboys these past 3 years, and I've hated it, but they're the better team. I think the Cowboys are going to be the better team.
Okay.
I think you're going to see the real reason why Brock Purdy is a competent quarterback. Look at, I don't care what anybody says. On stats wise, if I put Dak Prescott on any other team that has a decent line, he's a top 10 quarterback. You're just hating on the guy because he's a Cowboys quarterback. Dak Prescott, yes, he's not a postseason dude, but when he's on any other team, he is a top 10 quarterback. At minimum top 15 at least.
I'll say it. We haven't even got there yet. We're gonna get there, okay?
Let's
This is
go.
my take, right? This is my take.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
The 49ers are playing in the West. If the Commanders win the division, they're going to have to win like 14 games, right? Because the Eagles are going to be right there with them. The 49ers division, the winner's going to have 11 wins, you know? So it's going to be an easier division. That's why I think the 49ers, I would probably take making it over the Cowboys. Now, let's talk about Sayan's team really quick, and then we'll wrap up the show. But another team in there, bro, is the Packers and the Vikings. Are you putting the Packers and the Vikings in Cowboys conversations?
Yeah. You know why? Tell me when Jordan Love has played consistently throughout his whole entire career. You want to talk about people saying, oh, Dak this, Dak that, Dak and this. When Dak was going, wasn't he leading the league in points? Wasn't he averaging 30? Wasn't he doing his thing? Look, at the end of the day, Jordan Love has been a turnover machine. Yes, if you're going off the stats, look at, argue with the wall, Dak Prescott had one of the highest touchdown to interception ratios in his career. He's had it. This last season was horrible. That's the worst season I've seen him. Even when Dak was throwing interceptions. Dak Prescott's a gunslinger. Jordan Love is really indecisive when he comes to the ball. If I take his first option away and make him read a field, Jordan Love becomes somebody that you just don't want on the field. And J.J. McCarthy, he's a check down king. That's what he's been.
This is my take on J.J. McCarthy, right? Because we're playing the game. And you know I'm not a J.J. guy. But I will say, I think J.J. McCarthy has a better chance of being good than the Cowboys running back room.
You're right. You're absolutely right. But, do you remember Javonte Williams a long time ago?
Yeah, before 2 ACL tears.
Okay, but do you remember Miles Sanders?
Miles Sanders was ass, bro.
Miles Sanders was not.
We're not
Eagles.
playing
Hang
that.
on, timeout.
No.
With the Eagles,
Wasn't
Wasn't he decent?
No, he played behind the best offensive line in football.
But that's what I'm saying. When have the Cowboys not have a decent O-line? When haven't the Cowboys had a decent O-line besides last season? When haven't the Cowboys... Hang on. When haven't... That guy's garbage.
But
Tyler Guyton is garbage.
He was your starter, though.
I know, but I'm saying if this other guy gets reps, fine, cool. Tyler Guyton hasn't showed me anything yet. Other than that, I think we're going to be okay. I got Terrence Steele, Tyler Booker, Cooper Beebe, and Tyler Smith. I think we're going to be okay in that left tackle spot.
Dude, there's a difference with that and the offensive line Miles Sanders was running behind.
You're right. Okay. Look at. This is what I'm saying. I don't think you guys are not giving enough credit to seeing how bad that run game is going to be from last year. How worse can it be when Rico Dowdle was inconsistent? How worse can it be?
I like Rico Dowdle more than Javonte and Miles Sanders.
No, 100%. But I'm saying, how worse can that run game be than it was last year? It was pretty bad. It can only get worse. I don't think so. So what I'm thinking is this. Look, you guys can... Everyone can hate on my decisions off of what I think. The biggest thing is, am I going to have 100% Micah Parsons? Am I going to have that Micah Parsons that's focused? Am I going to have that Micah Parsons that we know who he is? Then that's also a thing on that defensive side of the ball. I have Deron Brand coming back. I have Trayvon Diggs coming back from his injury. You know, this is a lot of question marks on that. So maybe we'll see what the Cowboys do. I'm only saying this like you're saying as a fan. I hope they make the playoffs. I think they have a good chance. But off paper, like you're saying, you're kind of twisting me off of that. I think, the other teams might have it. But the dark horse in this NFC East is the Dallas Cowboys.
Okay. So the dark horse to win the division, you go Cow. I think that's actually fair.
Yeah.
If we're going dark horse, I just wouldn't say that they're going to make the.
But they're not. They're not stacked up to win the division this year.
So let's lock down your official 7 playoff teams, and then we'll wrap up the show.
Let's hear it. Okay. My first one, for sure, 100%.
1 seed.
1 seed.
I think everything we've said
Commanders.
points Washington. Yeah.
Commanders. For sure,
Okay.
Commanders.
2 seed.
Rams.
Okay. Rams house. Yeah. 3 seed. Lions or Bears?
Eagles. Oh, no. I want to say the Bears. I really do.
Go with your gut. Go with your gut.
I
Let's
want to say the Bears. I want to
Okay.
say the Bears.
4 seed. You said Atlanta, correct?
Yes.
All right. Now we play the game once again. And this is your official. We're locking this in. This is what it is, okay?
Yeah, you got me on live right here.
5 seed.
My 5th seed.
Eagles, right?
Yeah, for sure. And my 6th, it's the Lions make it.
Okay.
The Lions make it. And this could flip-flop, okay? I mean, it might not be a lock, but it's either the Bears win it or the Lions do. But that 6th seed can be a flip-flop, okay? Okay. But that's my 6th seed. And my 7th.
We them boys.
Yeah.
Hold on.
I got the Cowboys. I really
Yeah,
do. I
boys.
do.
Hold
I
on.
think, look at even 10. Look, they always say 9 wins minimum. 9 wins minimum barely gets you in, but they go 10 wins. They go 10 or 11 wins. I'm not saying higher than that. 10, 11 wins. They got a couple rough people on their schedule. And
Dude, if the
yeah.
Cowboys win, and Chat's team Detroit, love to see it. If the Cowboys win 10 games next season, that is going to be so competitive for that last spot, because I could see the Packers winning 10, Vikings winning 10, 49ers winning 10, Cardinals winning 10, Panthers winning 10, or Bucks winning 10.
Yep.
That would be tough.
And I honestly think it's the Falcons Falcons or I want to see the Panthers. Look, I love you, Baker Mayfield. I love you, man. I think you're great. You could be completely wrong and just say, hey, you know what? Screw you. You said Dallas. I'm going to take that 7th seed from you. Okay, cool. But I think the Panthers. It's time to get these little underdogs a chance. But yeah, this season coming up for the Cowboys. I mean, the only team I really see them really losing to, for sure. I'm seeing. Look at the Chiefs. The Lions for sure. The Lions for sure they take an L. They got smacked the last time. And the Commanders, they'll take an L against them too. But the Chiefs, that Thanksgiving Day, the Chiefs have been horrible on Thanksgiving. Horrible on Thanksgiving. So I'm taking an overtime thriller. Cowboys win by a touchdown.
Okay.
But the Chiefs could beat them. So those are the only three teams I see. They lose to the Eagles, the Cardinals, and the Chiefs for sure. I said less. They might drop another one. Maybe the Panthers could maybe upset them too. But again, that's what I wanted to end it off there. You saw my 7 teams. Love the NFC. I think the AFC is going to be the division to watch this year more, though.
Hey,
I'll tell you why. Just because I think I love to see the competitiveness out of all these other divisions out there. They've always said the NFC, all the NFC's been great, but it's kind of becoming predictable off the NFC a little bit. The AFC's always been that unpredictable type of horse, besides the Chiefs and the Bills.
Hey, let's plan the AFC next week.
Okay, let's do it. I'm down.
Talk about the AFC. Thank you guys on Instagram for showing love today. Hey, Ari, Black Hat Dude's going to be back tomorrow. Let's talk about our schedule for the rest of the week really quick. Tomorrow, we're going to be going through my Western Conference standings. So I know that was a good time with Phil last week, our Black Hat Dude last week. So this week is going to be my Western Conference standings. On Thursday, we are having a trade deadline show with a special start time of 3 p.m. Eastern for the MLB. So we're going to be watching that live. Still got a lot to figure out. There's going to be some guests on there. It's going to be a good time. And then on Friday, we got Creator Jeopardy, some sports Jeopardy with some of my favorite creators on the platform. So we're going to have a lot of fun this week, man. And it's going to get even funner next week. We're definitely going to have Zach back, Zach Attack, Zach Gretchy. Make sure you guys join the Discord server. That's going to be linked in this YouTube description down below. If you're on Instagram, you want to talk ball, head over to the YouTube side and join the Discord. We talk about ball. We do trivia every single day. And at the end of the month, whoever has the most points wins a $25 Amazon gift card. Free money for just knowing ball.
Run it. Come on.
And lastly, shout out Boom Fantasy, man. I don't want to zoom in again. Use code RTP for a risk-free bet up to $100. It's the number one way to support us and this page. I'm Ant. Zach, let the people know where they can find you really quick.
Game Time Gretch on YouTube and Instagram. Get ready, Titans. You get ready to go watch some Cal State Fullerton games, hopefully, and Laverne Leopards. You may hear me there. I'm a play-by-play broadcaster and color commentator, but I'm also going to be trying to join the Run the Play network a little bit, talk some post game shows, NFC. I mean, me and Ant is one of my great pals, man. We always talk about the sports, so we're getting into it. That's what I want to say, and appreciate you guys coming out. And we're gonna work on these technical difficulties to get the page up. That was on my end, so
We're
I
good.
do gotta say it's the business like that, but I want you guys to enjoy it. Ant is one of the best in the business, and this play and this page has been great. So hey, run that play. Let's go.
Real quick, I just want to say I just got Wilbur's joke. He was saying like, "Oh my, how do I zoom back out? My grandma was asking for my curtains." He was talking about the curtains behind you. So that's actually pretty funny. I thought he was trying to be freaky or something like that, but we good on that. Hey, appreciate y'all.